Hi everybody, welcome to my show and tell on the Magi coin. Um, well, I call it the Magi coin. I think it's more of a feminine energy because, all things coins and wallets and purses and whatever, they all seem to fall into that kind of realm. And this coin in particular seems to be, well, it seems to be kind of in that area for me anyways, but I think other people pronounce it differently. Well, I'll try to go into a few, details on why you might like coin mining, what attracts me to it in particular, um, and then I'll kind of show you what's running on my machine, and just do a little show and tell here, and see if it's maybe for some of you new people out there, maybe it's a way of looking at it and seeing if it's something that might interest you, if you've got the resources to do it, or the time, or the inclination and stuff, and just try to talk a little bit about, what makes some coins better than other coins, and why we might want to even go down this path, both individually and as a society, what makes it good, what makes it, bad in a sense. And I try not get too long-winded, and try to keep it short. So, um, if you're getting started with it, it is kind of complex. There's just a ton of different coins available. Um, there's 519 currencies showing here. Bitcoin's probably the biggest one that everybody hears about. Um, so, I mean, they're basically all doing kind of the same thing. They're all making a public ledger and a blockchain. So, why pick one as opposed to another? Um, and it's a really good question to get into, and it's something as you start researching it more, I think you're going to find some answers, and find some things that are kind of attractive to do, and some things that maybe aren't going to work out too well for you, because there's a lot of stuff out there that you can get into, and maybe lose some value, lose some money from it. So it's something you have to be kind of careful about, and do a little bit of research on your own about it. I think coins that get established with a good community tend to do better. That coins that don't inflate their value too quickly. It's good to look into a coin and see what kind of history is there. How many people are really into it and researching it, and there's a crypto. Let's see if we can find it here. Here it is. This is bitcointalk.org. This is a really good place to find out information on different coins, and just get to know the coin a little bit, and find out what people are talking about on this page. And this will also show you little specs about the coin, how to get into it. This has a lot of different information, and for a beginner, I don't know, sometimes I look at this stuff, I get a little confused myself. But, the main thing to look at here, especially as a beginner, is to make sure that if you get a wallet for these coins, you're going to good links that are established links. If you follow some link from somebody that's posted, say, a new wallet, and we've had some trouble lately with some of these links not being good, and people are stealing coins, so you have to be real careful. If you don't have any coins to steal, then yeah, that's not as big of a problem, but if you've actually been into it for a while, and then you've got some value on your machine, and you want to be a little cautious about where you get your wallets from, I would advise actually compiling this stuff from the source code. That always works better, and it really doesn't take too much to figure it out. You can find information out there, and there's a lot of good information on how to do it. So what I like to do is really maximize my machine, and make sure I'm utilizing what I have to support a bunch of different things at once. Partially because it's just more fun for me that way, because I've got 6 different coins running here, and it's kind of neat because blocks of coin will come in. That's the screen recorder there. And, you know, it's just something fun to do. I wouldn't put too much of your money into it, really, at this point, because, you know, there's so many things. Some of it's going to get adopted, some of it's not. But in my mind, I think it's just a simpler way of moving value back and forth. You know, instead of where the banking system really works off of creating debt, and then that debt, you know, is used in order to, you know, create new cash. And there's a lot of information on how the banking system works. And if you're interested, I would really look into that too, because it, you know, it's kind of inspirational in thinking, well, okay, maybe we can do things a little bit more simpler and easier. I mean, there's no debt attached to any of these coins. You know, when you create new value on a coin, it's based on, you know, your kind of time and effort working with this stuff, figuring it out. You know, if you run proof of stake, and I'll show you a little bit about that. Here's the Magi coin wallet. These blocks here are proof of work blocks where I've actually received value from mining, you know, in a more traditional way on my machine. This is kind of how Bitcoin would be mined. And then this little block right here, 0.06, that's actually a proof of stake block. And I kind of messed up a little bit because I've been trying to figure out this Magi wallet thing, and to be honest, I'm not, you know, I'm not the most expert at some of this, and what I did was I shut down for a long time, because what I'm trying to do is make larger blocks here, because I like to get at least 0.3, and I shut her down for a while. I think around the 20th, and when I started back up, I got this value here and this value that came in from the blockchain, and then I minted this value here, 0.06, and I was thinking, well, shoot, you know, it's been, you know, 4 or 5 days. I should get a nice, you know, big juicy stake come in, but you know, I got this little smaller amount. So the coin itself, you know, there's a few caveats to it to make sure, you know, that you get the value out of it. And I think one of them is to open the wallet up at least every day in order to stake the coins, because I think this particular coin, after 5 days, it starts losing its coin stake value. And you know, there's a lot of details. I'm not sure I want to get into all of it, but it's just a brief kind of thing about all of them. So when you do this coin and you're mining, you can mine it with proof of work on your machine while you got all this other stuff running, and it'll take some CPU. I'll show you some of the proof of work processes that are running here. So this is doing Bitcoin here. This is doing proof of work on the Magi coin. That's how I got those 15 coins. And this is actually doing proof of work also on the GPU, which is producing value too. So if you look at this, let me go back to this coming in from the multi-pool, this value here is all coins that I produced on the GPU, and then they basically traded value so that I get paid back in the Magi coin, which is kind of nice. So I can use a machine to do a variety of different things, and then, you know, get all that value back in this particular coin if I want. And then once I've acquired some of the coin, then I can also mint blocks through proof of stake and get these values here as well. So it's a nice little trickle-in income as well. Right now, this one's mostly doing proof of work. So if you look at how this, you know, what's really running on this machine, you know, what's taking the CPU process, well, you know, the screen reader's using some right now, but this miner D that's I've got 2 threads running, and that's doing the proof of work for Magi coin. So that's using half the machine's resources. And then the rest of these, smaller wallets, like, all of these are running proof of stake, and they're also, pulling in some value for me. So it's kind of a nice way of just supporting a whole bunch of different things, and yeah, it's interesting for me. And mostly what I think is really cool is where is this all going to go? Some of these coins are really going to get adopted well, and some of them aren't. So, in just a little while, there's a lot of buzz on the coin communities about actually making transactions work on the blockchain, going to more advanced kind of technologies beyond Bitcoin, where it's easier for us to trade these values back and forth. And that can lead to a lot of different things. Like if I wanted to trade Magi coin for hobo nickels, right now I've got to go through an exchange, and that makes it a little bit more, well, it makes it safer right now, so it's a good thing to have. But in the future, we'll be able to do a whole host of new things, like microtransactions. We'll have contracts on the blockchain, I think, where we can say, if you do this, you'll get, my 15 Magi coins or whatever, and by a contract, I mean, well, maybe if you, give me 30 hobo nickels or whatever, so we can trade back and forth that way. And eventually, what I'm hoping this will lead to is just an easier way for us to do, a variety of things, that we need, because there's a whole lot of work that needs to get done in the society. And, money flow is a pretty critical thing. So, if the government started getting into this as well, a lot of things could open up new possibilities. Like maybe this might be an easier way of forming a tax system. Like we could have the government actually mint their own little gov coin or their tax coin, and they could take half of the block reward for themselves, and then we could have little contracts that say, hey, government guys, if you fix the chuck hole in my street, you can have my, 500 Magi coins or whatever, and so we can trade value back and forth for things that we want to see happen, and it's just an easier way of assigning value to stuff, and can lead to a whole bunch of different areas. So yeah, that's kind of my intro here. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I can look into some other things. Okay, well, I've set up a few gazing stones here, and I'm going to see if I can check out the future and figure out what's in store for Magi coin. So let's go ahead and gaze deeply into the rocks and stones and see if we can find out, where's this going to? What's the crypto world going to have happen in the future? Are we all going to get rich? Are we all going to get poor? Is the world going to get to be a nicer, warm, kind, loving place, or what's going to go on here? Let's see if I can look and see. And things are gazing deeper here. A little bit fuzzy. I think I'm seeing some strange energetic patterns. Little lights dancing back and forth. Starting to clear a little bit. Getting a little more in focus here. Whoa, what is this? Ooh. Must check here and read 500 page, where's that 5,000? 500 page legalese document. Great beyond, not liable for any false prognostications, anything resulting in. Oh my goodness. Boy, there's quite a bit here. This is going to take some time to muddle through. Being chased by virgins. Let's see here. Okay, gazing deeply into the great beyond. can cause feelings of extreme ecstasy and love. Not liable for any medical bills resulting from returning the prognosticator to normal reality. Okay, well, this is getting a little creepy for me. Perhaps I better back away. I'm not sure I want to check this checkbox and move forward here.